Does the word pussy trigger you? Yes, I said pussy. There are so many words. Can we just use the word vagina or...
What do I call you?
Oh, I had so many names. Let me see. Yoni and Punani and vulva and sacred portal. And some people call me pussy.
I actually really resonate with sacred portal.
That's so beautiful, just like me. I love it when you touch me like that.
Maybe not in front of all these people.
It is so funny, the stigma that we have. Does it trigger you to talk about your sexuality, your sexual organs? Specifically, if you're a woman, your vagina. We're going to have a vagina dialogue today. Have I gotten your attention? I hope so, because this is an important show. On the show today, my guest is a woman who knows a lot about her own pussy. She is a sacred portal oracle. She reads pussies, yonis, vaginas, pick your name. It is a sacred portal. My guest is Anistara Ma Ka, mother of 1111 Unified. She empowers future New Earth leaders through her 1111 Ascension University and her level 1 course. You're not crazy, you're just awakening. Holistic coach, transformational speaker, Ascension Integration mentor, visionary pioneer, sacred portal oracle, a priestess of the Portal Priestess Mystery School. Her newest offering, Sacred Portal Pujas for women. Her mission is to weave community together, co-creating transformational experiences for humanity's awakening. She brings over 3 decades of experience in teaching and sharing the art of embodiment and confidence globally. You're going to want to watch all the way to the end and learn about your sacred portal. Time to reclaim it, reconnect with her. For those of you men out there, this would probably be a really valuable show to watch, because you're going to be able to relate on a whole other level to your partner's sacred portal of creation, through which new life is created and enters this world through the sacred portal of creation of woman, of your goddess. I am Heaven Hope, and this is Conversations with Goddess. If this is your first time visiting our magical channel for the light in our part of the universe, you may want to consider subscribing and joining the global and galactic family of light. Anastara, I'm so happy you're here. I cannot wait to dive into this juicy conversation.
Such a pleasure. Thank you.
So I've got to know, what is a sacred portal oracle?
Well, as a sacred portal oracle, I read women's yonis. All of us have our own divine design. And just like palmistry or Chinese face reading, every yoni has different symbols, hieroglyphs, numbers, constellations, animal totems. And through the symbology of the reading, you actually receive basically like a tarot reading, but between your legs. Yeah, that's exactly.
So many on the planet seem to have deep shame associated with their bodies, would you say?
Yeah. It really starts with your body image and how you accept yourself. And if you don't accept every part of yourself, then there's something missing. The power of women has been distorted and denied and falsified by our male hierarchical society. Ever since ancient times, even the goddesses in different temples, their bosoms, their yoni, their faces have been scratched off, like literally graffitied off. We have this innate value and power and a magnetic force between our legs, and it's just not acknowledged. We're made wrong for it, that it smells, that it's ugly, all these different things that condition us to believe that we're not worthy, or we hold self-doubt and we don't have confidence because we're ashamed. Some of us have even been ashamed by some of the choices we've made with her. And so I'm here to share how we can begin shifting this narrative, how we can normalize this conversation around our pussy, and the fact that when we embody our true feminine essence and our power, then we move into a new state of confidence and empowerment.
Share with us about your journey into this work. How did you come onto this path?
Well, when I was young, I held a lot of shame around my body because I was sexually molested and abused when I was younger. And so I often thought, was it me? Did I have to cover up? I started wearing baggy clothes. And ultimately, as a dancer and a gymnast and an ice skater, I eventually began to come out of my shell and really embody who I was as I was performing in public on stage. And I began to build that confidence because of the reciprocal energy with the audience. And then fast forward to when I was 40 and I was pregnant to have my son, or I had him 2 weeks after my 40th birthday. I had gained 85 pounds during my pregnancy. I no longer could see her. I couldn't even shave. I couldn't anything. I didn't have a relationship with her because I visually couldn't see her anymore. And about a year after my son was born, I went to a pussy church that my beloved friend and sister, Sierra Sullivan, the founder of the Portal Priestess Mystery School, this was her first event in Berkeley. I went there and we were invited to gaze upon her in the mirror. And then we were invited to take a photo of her. And we were invited to have the other women observe her and worship her and give her words of affirmation. And then we looked at the photo and we were invited to name her. And through that process, I began to start my own practice of mirror gazing and all of these things. And ultimately, she began the Portal Priestess Mystery School, where we're just remembering that we used to do this in ancient times as sisters. I went through a course, a Portal Priestess Mystery School course, and then I became an apprentice, and then I became a fully ordained sacred portal oracle. So I came from a place of like not having a relationship with her, not being able to see her and be with her. In fact, my home birth turned into a cesarean. And so when I was cut, I was energetically and physically cut off from her as well. And so it took me actually building that practice of visually looking at her, talking to her, listening to her, to bring me into this new state of completely, utterly loving myself for who I am, where I'm at, no matter how big or small I am, to just love every part of me.
What is the Portal Priestess Mystery School?
Our founder, Sierra, she had a friend that was going to Egypt soon, and she actually collected her Amrita, her beautiful woman orgasmic juices, in a vial and gave it to her friend to take to Egypt with her. And she asked her friend to put a couple drops at every temple and pyramid that she went to. And then Sierra started getting these instant downloads of how we used to be in communion together as sisters and worship each other, so to speak.
How amazing.
And then Sierra, she has her own story of how she was working with a woman who had a lot of sexual trauma. She had scars on her, and some women have moles and birthmarks, things that they aren't happy about or they criticize themselves about. And through a reading, this particular woman that went through a lot of trauma literally transformed her life in so many ways. And so Sierra felt the call to really expand this and bring other women into the sisterhood. And that's how it all began. And now it's like taking off and it's so beautiful. We have a television producer wanting to create a documentary series about it. I really see that we are here to help transform pussy shame worldwide, one yoni at a time.
One yoni at a time. All right, let's talk about some of the different names used in relationship to our sacred portal, which I think is the perfect name. Let's start with the word yoni.
Yeah.
Most people have no idea. Maybe some of you out there there watching might. If that's the case, we honor you for knowing that beautiful word Yoni. Would you care, as a portal priestess, tell us the meaning of the word Yoni?
Well, Yoni or vulva actually explains the entire area, the whole thing, whereas vagina is a different portion of it. It's only one part of it. Yoni and lingam, the men's member, I forget what culture it comes from.
India.
Thank you so much. And so I find that it's a really beautiful and soft word around it, whereas there's others like punani and pussy. Pussy can be really triggering for a lot of people. There's a lot of resistance because there's negative connotations around it. Like when you call a man a pussy, because it's triggering for them to even hear the word. And it was triggering for me. I couldn't say it when I first started this journey. Now it just slips off the tongue. One of the things that helped me with that was a book by Mama Gina called Pussy, a Reclamation. And it really was about reclaiming that word and knowing that we as women can say that and it's perfectly okay.
How did the word pussy even come into the vernacular? Why would they choose? I mean, yes, okay, it maybe resembles a pussy cat in its furriness and soft, sensual qualities, because obviously it's so perfect, right? So we're going to definitely reclaim the word pussy along with a few other words. Vajayjay. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. What are the common words that are so triggering? First of all, most of the times women don't even talk about their lady parts. Oh my, down there. Such a disconnect from her beautiful flower, the sacred portal from which creation of other beings come through. And yet it has been so criticized, shamed.
Well, I mean, even the word cunt. Oh, can I say that on YouTube? It's been used as a derogatory term, and it has that negative energy behind it. The other words are clam, vajayjay, as you said. My mom used to call it private parts. I couldn't even talk about it. It was not right to talk about it. It was something that was private, that had to be covered, and nobody could see it.
Don't touch it. Whatever you do, do not touch it.
Oh my goodness. God forbid that you should pleasure yourself. When I started exploring that as a young teenager and I got caught in the bathroom once, I actually got grounded for it. And so we've been made wrong for the beauty that she is and what she offers us. And so the Portal Priestess Mystery School specifically isn't around orgasms and tantra and pleasure. It really is about just accepting that part of your body, and then it turns your radiance on. You become more empowered when you do that.
Reclaim all the pieces of ourselves that have been denied because of our upbringing, society, patriarchy. Tell us more about the work that you're doing with women in the Sacred Portal
Mystery School.
Yes. Don't you have like a workshop or an event coming up?
Yes, they do. So I've been hosting what I call Sacred Portal Pujas. They have been one-day events. The one that's coming up is actually a 3-day weekend, and it's September 20th to the 22nd here at Joy Oasis in this beautiful dome in the middle of the redwoods of Occidental California. During this time together, we will create a beautiful sacred container for us to explore. We take you through different embodiment practices. We begin with mirror gazing, there's journaling, there's dance and sound and voice, and so many different ways that we explore ourselves. And then we move into the Native American Doshka. And this part is held by my co-host, Luminessa and Jara. She comes from a tantric background. She teaches how the Native Americans have different archetypes for the pussy. And so we will look and gaze. You'll be in partnership with someone and look and gaze and be able to determine if you're a buffalo woman or a wolf woman or a cat woman or a horse woman. And this gives you a lot of information because not only does it explain the width of your labias, it explains the length between where your clitoris is and your opening is. It explains the depth of the pocket. And so you'll have a better understanding of what size lingam you can have in a male partner. Sheds a lot of light onto, who you are and what that design is that's you. You'll notice too that each and every one is completely and utterly unique and beautiful in its own way. body. And so the women truly begin to own who they are. And then we move into the oracle readings where you actually receive your symbols. You have the opportunity to write about it and research those symbols and what they mean in your life at this particular moment in your path. And then, of course, we're all sleeping on the property. So we have shared meals, we have time in nature, and it's just going to be a beautiful experience.
Did you mention all the archetypes? Are those, they're just 4 or they're more?
That's not all of them. In fact, again, I'm still learning about that part. Luminessa is the one that leads that part. And then the Portal Oracle readings is the section that I lead. And there, what we have noticed is that there are some overarching running archetypes that we see in a lot of women's yonis.
For example,
Mother Mary. Mother Mary, if you really look at the shape of sculptures or paintings of her head is the clitoris, her robes are the labia. Like, it is so clear. I just got full body truth bumps. It is so clear that the Divine Mother, the depictions of the Divine Mother is a yoni. Other ones are elephant is often, dolphin is often, serpentine, like snake. Sometimes, the double snake heads that come up into a heart shape, dragonfly, butterfly. Like, there are many different animal totems that we are finding are common threads amongst a lot of the ladies.
Most flowers, orchids are exquisite creations of nature, and they resemble a woman's genitalia.
Of course they do. Yeah.
There's so many of them in nature.
When you go to the initial Portal Priestess Mystery School temple, it's called the Temple of the Sacred Portal. It's an online event. It happens once a month. During this beautiful Zoom call container, you can visit from anywhere in the world. You get to watch a film that Sierra made called The Secrets of the Yoniverse. You really get to see the shapes in nature, from oysters and clams and mussels to the holes in trees or the indentations in trees, different flowers, even caves, cenotes, like they're all shaped like yonis. Like, Mother Nature is surrounded by yonis. And so when you go through the Love Your Yoni challenge, you're invited to go on yoni nature walks and actually take photographs of different yonis that you see in nature.
All of creation, the Yoniverse is the universe. It is the motherverse. It is all that exists. It is ultimately the portal of creation. Sacred Portal Oracle, was this a gift that you were born with or that you cultivated?
That's such a good question. I feel like I'm just remembering it. It's something that Sierra and we kind of joke about the fact that we used to do this in ancient Egypt as priestesses, and it's like coming back to me. And the more that I practice and the more clients that I have, the more that I see. And so I'm also developing it in this lifetime.
Unfortunately, there has been such shaming, retribution for those of us who are connected to our body as a temple. And recognize the sacredness of our sexuality. And that has been something, unfortunately, that has just been severed. When I think about female genital mutilation and all the things that have gone on throughout different cultures, it sure seems like there is this immense, intense fear that many on the planet have, especially in the patriarchy. Have you noticed that? And what is the reason for that? Why is that the case?
I believe that in this male dominator society, hierarchical society, male dominator is a term that Luminessa likes to use.
Rather accurate.
They don't want us to know our power. They don't want us to really, and the proverbial they, right? They don't want us to know how powerful we really are. And our innate sexual power lies in the fact that we can give birth to another human being. And so inside our womb, there's this beautiful force that can almost be magnetic, and it's an attraction. And that's why women can womb manifest things so quickly at times when we're aligned energetically. So it's important for us to remember that this power, this authentic feminine power, can not only heal, but it can be pleasurable. It can create many, many things. And as women, it is our responsibility, so to speak, to reconnect to that power because it's been given away, it's been taken away,
Demonized, it's been repressed.
and it even continues into modern days. Like only recently have women been able to have an inheritance, have a bank account and a credit card without a man co-signing to be able to vote. Like we're just being given our human rights. And so because we haven't had them for so long, we've been disempowered. We now have this constant pressure too, to compare ourselves to others. In fact, there's young girls these days that are literally getting labia surgery so that their Yoni looks like a porn star because that's all they know. They know what they see on the screen and all these photos with filters and everything, and they want to try and look like what they see on the screen rather than their natural beauty. It's deeply ingrained, and I invite sisters to just wake up to the idea that once you really build a relationship with her and you deeply listen to her, then you actually tune in even deeper to your intuition. And from that comes even more great power of being able to create and manifest things in your life.
Speak into woo manifestation.
Well, manifestation has the word man. So woman manifestation has a different vibration and frequency to it. And as women, we are woman manifesting. It depends on how connected you are to your intuition, because I simply follow signs and synchronicities. And so when I'm approached with a certain choice point, I will use my body pendulum. All right. I ask what my yes is. I ask what my no is, and I'll listen to it. And now, since I started this work as a portal priestess, I'll actually just put my hands on my flower and just ask her and say, what do you think of this? And I'll get a full body yes or a full body no. And even if it's like a halfway, like, I don't know, then it's a no. So it to me has to be 100%. It's like if it's 100%, I get full body truth bumps when I talk about it, think about it, then it's a yes for me. So following that guidance allows me to create things more quickly in my life because I am following that guidance. I'm following the signs, the synchronicities, the things that are laid out in front of me instead of ignoring them because I'm allowing that tapped in intuition to be my guiding compass.
That's so powerful. I invite everybody watching right now to put their hands, and if you're a man, put it on your genitalia. Let's just take a moment and put our hands in prayer pose and then go on down to the sacred portal, whatever that may be for you. Let's take a breath together and breathe into that area, into our sacred portal. Because if you think about it, most people's spiritual practices involve the upper three chakras. And a lot of people on the spiritual path seem to be not fully in their root and sacral, and also not in their solar plexus, which is their power center. Practices where you get to really embody your soul in your body are so key. I love to give people watching tools and tips and takeaways. Do you have some to share besides that great one, putting your hands on your sacred portal?
I would say one of the first things that you can do is look in the mirror, get curious, start by your face and just looking at your face for like 5 minutes. And just telling yourself how much you love yourself, what a great job you're doing, give yourself words of affirmation. And then when you're ready to take that next step, you can do full body mirror, fully naked. And what I like to do and invite my clients to do is to look at what you consider your perceived problems, right? Or your perceived things that you don't like a couple of wrinkles, right? I have some wrinkles here. Guess what? They're my smile lines. I earned those, right? And so you want to do a mindset shift, a perspective shift on what you consider a problem into your gold, like into a power, right? And so even my little gray hairs, I'm like, oh, I don't dye my hair. I haven't done it since my 20s. It's starting to come in. These are my wisdom streaks, right? So go scan your body and look over it, and anything that you don't like a birthmark or something, turn it around and call it something new. Look for the beauty beauty in it. And then when you're ready, you can turn that mirror onto your genitalia and you can just take that look. Some of us have never even looked before, other than like maybe shaving. And so this is your opportunity. Take a look, see what it's like. See how somebody else sees it by taking a photo of it instead of looking at a reflection in the mirror. You can zoom in. You can say, oh, I actually see a dolphin there. Oh, I see a snake over here. Like you can start beginning just by giving yourself your own little mini reading.
I get the sense that this is something that happens at the 3-day event that you're going to be doing on the 22nd. You sent me some images of women being gazed,
Worshipped, gazed upon.
Share about that experience.
So what's interesting is some of the ladies who have come before, they show up, they're so shy, they're covered, they have resistance, you could tell, and they're like, keeping themselves a little small. And by the end of the experience, they are ready to get on that throne. They are ready to be seen, to be witnessed, to be loved, to be adored, to be complimented, and then to receive their symbols. And so what I've done in the past too is I'll take their phone. Nothing's done on our own, videos and stuff. I'll take their own phone, take their own photo so they can look at what we are looking at. And then I'll take her journal and I'll actually write notes for her in her journal. So she could take the phone and the journal home and do home play and really dive into the symbology of what came through and making correlations in her life to do that. And so it's really amazing to just witness these like kind of, oh, I don't know. And again, they're like, I'm so grateful. All of you got to see me. And I just love you all so much. And thank you for this experience. It's really powerful.
It sounds like it would be completely liberating and transformative to anyone who may have issues in their tissues or any disconnection from the sacred portal of creation that we as women have all been blessed with. I would imagine then that this journey is one of powerful reclamation and transformation.
Some women have literally held decades of ancestral trauma, things from their mother and their grandmother, and they walk out saying, oh my gosh, I feel so clear now. I can actually go and mend my relationship with my mother, or what, like there's mother-sister wound healing, collective healing that occurs in this container that's so potent. It's hard to put words to, because you're there for your individual experience, and yet we are healing the collective across all timelines and dimensions from the past into the future by doing this work together. And I find that one of the motivating factors that I have recently is that I really would like to have young women who are coming of age to have this experience, to be able to honor themselves in deep and profound ways, so that maybe things like teenage pregnancy becomes a thing of the past. Who knows the magic that can occur when we begin to invite in the younger generation as well. And what an empowered woman she can become if she was on that path from a younger age.
Do you have any stories about participants?
One of the Portal Priestess apprentices shared that she had a mole, or like a little bit of a growth on the outside of her labia when she started this work. And within a couple years of her being in the work, it's actually not there anymore.
Amazing.
Had another woman who's like, I don't resonate with my name anymore. I've really been calling in a new name and I didn't know what it was. And she announced her new name at the closing circle. It just goes on and on. What was really beautiful about the last puja is we literally had 3 generations, like different age groups, from young to elderly.
Please share how each generation responded to this experience.
I find that the elderly generation are the ones with the most resistance to it. Mm-hmm. And yet they're the ones who are like, I wish I had this 30 years ago. Mm. Right? Because they have that old programming even more ingrained from the 50s and needing to be a housewife and woman, obey your husband and stay in place.
Restrictions that have been placed upon women throughout history. His story, which is why we are reclaiming that and we are telling her story, right?
Yeah.
So share with us some wonderful stories of transformation from some of the clients.
One woman who I've known for many years has been struggling with her body image. She had a lot of attention when she was younger. And so the way she found out of getting that attention is by packing on body weight. And so she's been struggling with her body image because she feels like she needed that layer of protection to not get that sexual attention. And she came to one of the pujas and had never really taken time to look at her and spend time with her before. And by the end of the puja, she's like, oh my goddess, I am so beautiful. I am beautiful. And I accept myself for exactly who I am and where I'm at and what I look like. And now I'm going to feel differently about my body. And I have seen her grow and blossom, and she's starting a new business. Like, so much has opened up for her because she finally came into a place of full acceptance of herself.
Completely relate, going through my teenage years of developing and started to get attention that I really did not feel comfortable with. And I definitely started to gain weight. And I was having this struggle, this battle with my body, and coming to a place of feeling safe, being in my feminine essence, and to allow my sexuality to blossom without uncomfortable attention. I'd love for you to speak into how you worked with women in your workshops in that area.
Well, in fact, I have a masterclass coming up specifically around that called Love Your Body, 4 Keys to Reclaim Your Feminine Power. It's a Zoom masterclass, so it's online. It's September 11th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Anyone can join from anywhere in the world. And we're going to begin to normalize the conversation about our body image. And ultimately, it's for women who have held shame or criticized themselves, and begin to build a new relationship, shift their perspective on their body so that they can embody more confidence and feel empowered. That class in particular is going to guide you through the 4 keys. And at the end, you actually receive a free gift for coming to the masterclass. So the masterclass is free. You can join, and I would love to really show these ladies that it is possible for them to transmute these old programs and learn how to love themselves completely and utterly.
I'm going to attend that class. I'm going to attend the September 11th one and check it out and explore it. And this is a topic that's very near and dear to my Yoni heart. And I'm so delighted that we've opened the conversation. What is your mission?
To transform pussy shame worldwide.
I love it. Y'all hear that? We are transforming pussy shame worldwide, starting here, starting now. So it is done.
Own it, claim it, know that it's yours. That is your seat of your feminine power, and you can have that.
Beautiful. You showed me a video, which I showed a little bit at the beginning. Give me a little background about the Pussy Puppet Show.
Okay. We have a beautiful venue in town in Sebastopol called Soft Medicine. And one of the ladies there said, I'm going to have a fashion show / burlesque show. Do you want to perform? And I said, well, I'm not a burlesque dancer, and I have a great idea, because we were about to teach another sacred portal puja. What better way to start the conversation of building a relationship with your pussy than a pussy puppet show? So I did this beautiful dance, fully embodied goddess. And then I sit down on the chair and I lift up my dress, and Luminessa, my co-host, was underneath there with this big pink puppet. And I started talking with her, and she's like, oh, hey, girlfriend, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm like, oh, well, I've been busy. And I give her all the reasons why I haven't been communing with her. And then she invites me to have a new relationship with her. And I ask her how. And she's like, let's just start right now. It was really beautiful. It was really well received from the audience. Everyone enjoyed it. It brought lightness and humor to the conversation. And a lot of women showed up to the puja because of that puppet show.
I love the puppet show. That was so funny. And you were so sensual and embodied and sexy and hot.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
You can always find me on my link tree, linktr.ee/Anastara 1111.
You also have a puja coming up.
Yes, that is the 3-day weekend retreat here at Joy Oasis in Occidental, California, September 20th to the 22nd.
This has been so much fun and such a powerful transmission of healing information. Thank you so much for joining me. Blessings to you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got so much value out of it. And if you did, make sure to give it a like, share it out with friends who could get more information about the Yoniverse and the sacred portal of creation, without which none of us would be here. Thank you so much for joining me. Wishing you all magic and miracles.